Test. All right, Phyllis. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the trio. My name is Renee, and we are excited to have our very own special guest, Miss Phyllis Madison. And we are the trio. We're the trio, and we're here to help you navigate the many layers of managing a household, prioritizing health, and caregiving with confidence. And I'm going to cue the music. So, as I said, welcome, Phyllis. My name is Renee, and I basically help individuals take action as they transition into their multi generational household. And Phyllis, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Hello, and thank you so much for inviting me to be with you on this amazing podcast today. I feel that the um, gift that the trio brings to the world is absolutely amazing because we need these conversations to better equip us for the future, and we can pass them down from generation, quote, generation to generation, and it helps us to support each other better. So thank you for allowing me to be here. My name is Phyllis Madison. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, daughter-in-law, um, and most importantly, I'm a full-time outside of the home employee. Um, and in respect to today's conversation, I'm a part of a multi-generational household, and I take care of my husband who has um, lymphedema, and my mother-in-law who is 80 years old and doing well as I, my son with special needs. And so I wear the hat of many caregivers from different of a caregiver from different generations.
Mhm.
So thank you so much for being here, for asking me to be here. Excuse me.
That is quite all
Can you
right.
tell I'm a little nervous?
No, I know. Me too, Phyllis. I'm all every time we get on here, I'm nervous, but I'm glad that you're here. This is gonna be a great conversation because you have like amazing insight as usual. But I want to start. We're going to start on an up note because our topic today is caregivers during the holidays, and as Leslie Bourne has already like schooled us on all the statistics of how high the stress level is, how high the grief and different things, the emotions that individuals go through during this particular like 3 months, the last 3 months of the year. And so I want to start out first by asking you about tell me, how do you feel about the holidays?
Oh, well, I'm uh, this is my time of year. Some people like spring and summer, but when this last quarter comes around, it's like it just fuels me and gives me so much joy. My family says I go overboard because I'm decorating, and every space has to have some semblance of Christmas, which is my favorite holiday of them all, and Thanksgiving, because the families come together and we give
Right.
thanks for being together. So I think that's the part that drives me the most. Um, this year has been a little bittersweet because um, my mother has transitioned
Mm-hmm.
is no longer with us. And I always look forward to celebrating this time of year with her. We would talk about what we were going to bake and how we prepare different things. And I would call her and ask her for tips on, you know, making sure something was perfect and things like that. So, what I try to keep in mind this holiday season
Mm-hmm.
is, although one may be missing, I
Yeah.
still have my others, my core group, in the
Yeah,
home. And
that's good.
so um, I allow the stress of making sure everything is perfect to just fade away and live in the moment. That's one thing my mother's death has taught me, is to live in the moment. So, I get I get my mother in love, I call her. I get her excited about the Santas, the black Santas is what I started collecting. And, I love to
Yeah.
put up the red and the green and have everything. And so everyone gets into motion. And we were sitting at the table last night going over our menus and
Oh,
getting the recipes together for cakes and things that we're going to bake for the holidays. So we
good.
started a new tradition of baking together in the kitchen.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So
so everybody's gonna be in the kitchen?
just me and her.
Okay, nice.
We have the two. My husband and son are the taste testers.
Of
So
course, of
you know,
course.
they have to have whatever's not being designated for a group. So yes.
That's awesome, Phyllis. I want to ask you right along those lines. Have Do you feel pressure? Doesn't sound like you do, but I'm gonna ask the question. Do you feel pressure to maintain old traditions or certain traditions, or you just like you said, being present in the moment?
I I did a couple of years back. I did, well, this is the way it has to be, and this is the way that I always did it, because before being a multi-generational, adding an additional generation to my household, I did the way I wanted.
Okay.
So I was a chief executive. I was a CFO,
Exactly.
CEO. And
See.
so I made the executive decisions of how we were going to do things. So what I had to learn and adopt is allowing everyone to be present and have a
Mm,
part and have a say in that, and just enjoy,
okay.
you know,
So so
and
does
it's
that mean
something else.
they love your Christmas decorations, or do they get to choose what they're adding in, or
There's only one that loves my Christmas decorations. That's
oh really?
the guys roll their eyes every time a box comes in and they open it up and it's another Santa. They go, "Oh
Oh
my,
gosh.
another one,
They
another one."
love it. They love it.
They,
Well
I
done.
believe they love it because when the I got this huge nutcracker, this
Which I
black
love them.
nutcracker,
I love
and
them.
I sat it outside and they unwrapped it and they were like, "Oh my gosh, she is really out of pocket," you know.
Well, they
'Cause
love
when,
you, so they
but
love
when
it.
people would come up, they would talk about it,
See?
you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, let
Undercover.
me show you a picture with my wife. This is something else she
I love it. I love it.
got. And my
Well, that's
son would
good.
say, "My mom is just she's just out of it. She's
Yeah.
she's lost her mind," you know.
Right. That's good though. That's good. I mean, everybody is involved and everybody has their part to play. And that's a part of what you're talking about is being the CEO, the CFO of the multi-generational household. Somebody has to take that point. And not just I'm not talking about you and your husband and all. I'm not talking about that part.
No,
Or
no, I
just
get that. I get
yeah.
that. Absolutely, you're correct. You're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta navigate. Somebody
Yeah.
gotta be the train conductor.
Yeah.
That's me.
Exactly. Exactly. But and it's the buy-in also because it's like you said, sitting at the table talking about the recipes and what you're going to do. It's about letting your husband and your son know what's coming in. We got a package coming in, or letting including them in the process. I mean, part of a good CEO in your household is making sure everybody feels like they do have a part to play. And I
Right. And just because, like, mom makes they call it a Waldorf salad or something like that with all of
yeah,
the fruit and stuff.
I love that.
I do not like it at all.
You don't? I love the Waldorf salad.
No, no. I don't know what it is. I don't understand. Maybe it was something from my childhood, but
Right.
no, I do not like it.
Okay.
They love it. I buy whatever they need. If I have
Mhm.
to help mix it, I'll help mix it. I don't
Mhm.
taste it.
Right.
Make
Right.
sure everything is correct. I
Right.
call one of them, you know.
Let them taste. The taste. That's their
Right.
job. The taste testers.
Right. That's their job. That's their job. You know,
That's good.
because when you're cooking in the kitchen, the smells become you become immune to them in some sense,
Yeah.
and you tasted a couple of things so much you can't really taste it. Do I have enough of this, that, and the other? So they like the idea of, I need somebody to try this. Oh, you did it, babe, you
Right.
did it,
Right.
you did
Right.
it.
They love
So
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's
The
good. I
co-side is great.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so it's not like everybody has to think the same way, do the same thing, but everybody needs to feel like they are a part of the process.
Correct.
And it sounds like you are doing that beautifully, Phyllis. And I want to switch my question a little bit right now and talk about the caregiver side of it. Because with all these wonderful traditions, new traditions, enjoyment of lights and the everything that goes with the holidays. um let's talk about just as far as it being a caregiver and having to put that hat on and also paying attention to the health and well-being of the people that you are caring for.
So that part of it um, was extremely stressful for me, with my husband's initial diagnosis of the lymphedema, and it was really bad in the beginning because we didn't understand it, and he had to go to wound care specialists, and it
Mm,
involved changing dressings 3 or 4 times a day. And at that time, I was working from home.
mm,
So I was being pulled and stretched in so many different ways. I was completely exhausted, and but I still had to function because we still had to eat, bills had to be paid, clothes had to be washed, and um, I still had to sit and do 7.5 hours every day.
mm.
There was a period that he couldn't drive at all.
Okay.
So for 4 or 5 months, I had to drive him everywhere. And he did not like that at all. So there was that battle because I'm on the driver's side and he's on the passenger side. There was that thing that he had that he couldn't stand that. So I had to adjust and ask God for grace and
Hmm.
patience and all of that. And as he got his mother helped me out a lot. She would talk to me and we would, try to come up with a good plan. And at one point when he didn't want to go to the hospital and he had to go. Had
Okay.
he not gone when he did, they said if he had waited a couple of more days, he would have been gone because the
Mm,
infection had got so bad. And I drove him downtown to the hospital. We were in that hospital all night long before they finally admitted him and all of that. And I had to come home and log in for work
wow.
the next day,
Wow.
which was rough.
Yeah.
So, um, it had got to a point that I really began to burn out, and then I had to look for other ways to get outside help. So I found out my insurance afforded us a nurse to come in 2 or 3 days a week to change the dressing, and that would give me, a break. But wearing those different hats, my son still needed he had doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
He had to have prescriptions filled. He had therapy that he had to go to. So the constant. shifting in one, shifting on another, shifting in, and I tried to keep his social activities intact so that he would not feel like all of this, he was being sucked in a vacuum, you know,
Right.
for that. So it was tough there for a minute.
So, Phyllis, that sounds really tough, and it's like you said at when you first were talking about wearing multiple hats. What about in that all of that that's going on? How did you, or did you center yourself, ground yourself, keep yourself in a place, a good place?
So I'm glad you brought me back to that because I digressed. But every caregiver needs a community, and whether that is a community, a group,
Hmm.
whether that's a community of two people, or maybe it's just a community of one. But every caregiver needs a community that they can lean on for support. And if it's okay to shout out the 1212 community,
Hmm.
I would not have made it through that difficult transition, even from my mom's passing, and I transitioned into being, that one on one caregiver for my husband. If it wasn't for the 1212 community and the support and the, um, just like, who was it? Joshua that held up Abraham's arms when the children of Israel were in battle.
Yeah, yeah.
And when he he got tired of holding his arms up and his arms went down, and then
Hmm.
Joshua, the support, the community came and lifted his arms back up, and as long as his arms were up, they won, they were winning
Mm.
the
Right,
battle. And
right.
when it went down, they were losing, so he had to get a support. And
Hmm.
so that's what the 1212 has been to me, my shoulder to lean on, cry on, prayer partners. Oh, let's come on, let's go out,
Right, right.
um, have lunch or something like self. That is critical. That is a critical need that a caregiver must have, not
Absolutely.
optional. You
Yeah,
must have a
absolutely.
community, whether it's, like I said, whether it's a community of one or five or 12 or 25, you need that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's, I mean, unfortunately, I think that it's something that you had to already be working on, developing. I mean, once you get in the middle of caregiving and doing that process, then you need to build that into place. And that's not impossible. It's just more challenging. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was, I do know, I felt that I was I was reaching a breaking point to where I was going to need someone to care for me, and
mm,
then who was going to care for everyone else, because that is the thought that is in the front of every caregiver's mind. I have to do this. I'm the one, everyone depends on me. I
yeah,
have to be the one to do this, but the caregiver needs care as well. So
absolutely.
that's why that caregiver needs that community to
Yeah.
be there
Yes.
for them. And sometimes if you don't have it already in place, sometimes you don't really have to look that far.
It's true.
You know,
Explain that. Explain that. Tell us about that. Not
well, well, meaning, like, I was blessed immensely uh, years before
mm-hmm.
to become a part of the 1212 community. And I was kicking and screaming, I will admit, in the beginning. It was tough for me because I had to change my thought process and my way of thinking and open myself up to what God had in store for my life. And, work on me. I had to work on me. The
Mm-hmm.
beginnings of before I became um, a one on one, because my mom had gone to stay with my brother. Um, but there was some things I needed to work out. There were some, forgiveness, cleaning up, and
Mhm. Mhm.
within my own self that I needed to do.
Yeah.
Um, and I like to say, although you say they weren't not mistakes, but there were some mistakes I made with my first lesson in caregiving that I learned after I became a part of the community, that,
Mhm.
there were some things I could have done a little bit better. So
Yeah.
the latter part of caregiving for my mom was better in that I understood it a whole lot better, but I was changed on the inside. So I knew, um, that I had more grace and love to give and mercy because it had been shown to me, if that makes any sense.
That is it. That's the journey. That is the journey. That's how we grow and we learn. And I can 100% agree with you. There's things that I mean, what do they say? 20, well, the old people say that 20, what is it? Hindsight is 2020. I
Correct.
mean, when you look back and you look at what some of the things that choices that you made, how you handle certain things, even a few months later, you would handle, already you're handling things different. And then,
Correct.
6 months later, so there's constant in the caregiving world. There is, because situations there's two sides. Things cannot change for 6 months for a year. Things are just like, okay, we're going along, we're going to therapy, we're going to the doctor, we're doing the things, and then boom, everything can change within a matter of a day. And then
Correct.
you're growing. But though all of that is like what you're saying, there is a internal um change knob that is just making you, it's like tightening, it's making you say, oh, I see what this is, I remember how we handled this. You're just like learning as you go. So yeah, you're not going to
Absolutely.
be the same.
Absolutely. And the thing that's critical as a caregiver
Hmm.
is you have to make sure that your care is together. Your
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
care, whether it be health, mentally, socially,
Yeah.
emotionally,
Hmm.
if your personal care is not on point or being taken care of,
Hmm.
monitored by someone else, it is a recipe for disaster
Yes.
because
Yes.
you wind up creating more havoc than anything
Exactly.
else.
And like you were talking about those 12, 14-hour stints in the hospital, and you're not in the hospital, you are taking care of your person, and they're laying in a bed, or everybody is fussing over them, but you are sitting in that chair in that hospital room with them most of the time, or you're out in the hallway waiting to be seen. You're sitting there
Completely exhausted.
completely exhausted. You don't have any snacks. You haven't, stuff is still going on at home. So I also think the recipe, one of the things that we learned specifically about the hospital stay, because it could be 24. I mean, we've wound up not even knowing we were going to have to spend the night at the hospital. um so we've learned when we would go to the hospital, it would be like, eat a sandwich. Even there's times when 911 came, that came to the house, and it was like dad or mom had to go in the ambulance to the hospital. We would know, grab some peanut butter crackers, put them in your bag. I mean, this might sound simple and nothing, but you're going to be hungry and you're going to get weak, and then you're not going to feel well. So just having, and this is all as you're growing, you're
and
learning.
and and, and if you don't you're hungry, you're ready to pass out because you haven't had. And
Absolutely.
when the doctors or the medical professionals come in to talk to you about the care that they're giving or what they need to do, you can't process it because all you can think about is his finger looks like a couple of chicken fingers that I could
Right,
snack on.
right, right.
You
Oh
know,
my gosh.
it really, I'm just sitting here like he's like doing. I refer to it a lot. It's that Charlie Brown boys wah 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 wah.
Yes. Oh
And then
my
you have to think,
gosh.
what did he say? What did he
Yeah.
say? So can
Oh
you
no.
repeat that? Well, don't you remember we had this conversation?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
And
don't.
you're responsible for that information. You're responsible for now picking up prescriptions when you leave, making sure that everything at home is ready to bring that person back in. If that person is sicker, if they're going to have to stay in the hospital, then that means you may have to leave, go shower, get changed, and someone else will have to come and sit. And that's bringing in your village. There's so many things that you're having to think about that if you yourself have not taken care of yourself and don't have some sort of personal regimen,
Hmm.
someone that says like, did you eat, that says what do you need me to do, but really means I'll go to pick up this prescription for you, or that person that really will actually help. You need
Well,
that person to.
I don't know. Maybe it sounds mean or indifferent, but if there's someone else around me and they're hearing that different things need to be done,
Hmm.
me, I would rather them say, "I'm going to take care of this, this, this. You stay here." You
Okay.
know, not what do you need me to do, because that's something else I got to process. That's
Yeah.
something else I got to quote unquote take care of.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Well, you're
so
right
for
about
me,
that. You're right
yes. So
about
for
that.
me, it would sound better, if you have someone that you can say that to, or
Yeah.
they know that part of you. To me, it would appear that you would be willing to just step in. If you most of the time, anyone you have that close to you really are willing to step in and do whatever. So I would
Yeah.
rather them say, let me take care of this. I'll do this, 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 and this. You sit here. When I come back, I'll have your clothes. You can change. You can, I'll bring you something to eat back, or, whatever, or not say I'll bring you something to eat. Just bring it back. You need to eat. Go outside and sit in the waiting room and eat, you
Yeah.
know, and
That
decompress and de-stress, and just say, I have a moment.
Right. I love that because we definitely learned that what can I do isn't the right question. It's I'll be there and I'm bringing this over. It's more it's more of a telling, and you need people
Right.
to
It's a
tell you.
command. It's
Yeah,
like the command sentence. Go
yeah,
there and pick that up. Not
exactly.
um, do you want me to go and pick it up? No, I'm on my way to pick this up. I'll
Yeah,
bring this back, or not
exactly.
say I'll bring this back. I'll
Yes.
just do whatever. And you just look up and it's done. That in and of itself is like someone gave you $1 million.
Yeah, you're right about that. Um $1 million, because you don't have to say no, I'm fine, because that's what we normally say, because we're thinking the thing that I need, you're probably not going to be able to do it for me, so I'm not even going to mention it, and that's no, like you said, it's no hit on the person, but the question cannot be what can I do for you.
Correct.
It has to, you have to, and this is also educate, this is also ourselves when we are seeing other people that need help, like I think you talked about flying to wherever your brother and your, the when your mom lived with your brother
Yes,
and
in Arizona. Yes.
to help.
Because that was right after COVID, right during
Mhm.
COVID, and they gave they were giving you additional time. They gave us extra leave because people were getting COVID 2 and 3 times,
Right,
and as
right.
a bonus for those that did not take any time off, you got you earned an extra week of time that you could use.
Oh wow.
So I banked it. And,
Okay.
when I heard my brother was saying, my wife needs a break, she's here with her 24/7. I go out and go to work and come in, would be nice. And I said, well, you know what? I haven't seen mom in a while. Let me just fly out there and I'll take care of her. and give you all a break so that you can just do whatever and know that she'll be taken care of. And he was like,
So
"You really do that?" Yes. And I
yeah, and that's what it looks like when it's not what can I do for you. That's what it looks like. And
absolutely.
that is beautiful. I mean, I think making that normal and taking away what can we do. I mean, for me it was, even, when
It's a
my
game
parents,
changer. It's a
yeah,
game changer.
because people, that question is just like a if when my parents passed, we had a lot of people come to the house. Um, but what sticks out, and this is no judgment on anybody, because love is love. When people come and they put their arms around you, that's beautiful. But there were people who just came. When they came, they brought food. When they came, they brought whatever it is that they thought we actually needed. We had people that helped with trash bags. We had people,
You know
they
what?
just
You took the
brought it.
thought. You took it right from. That was something when I lived in North Carolina. I'm sorry to cut
No, no, no,
across,
you're
but
fine. You're fine.
when I lived in North Carolina, um, for a period of time, and in the South they feed you. You will almost never go hungry when there's a funeral or someone sick.
Exactly.
When you're in the South, because that's what they do. They
Yeah.
bring massive amounts of food. Um, and so I watched, and I was go, oh, can somebody? I remember hearing at one home I went to that it was so many people coming through. They didn't have toilet paper. They didn't have paper towels.
Mm.
They didn't have dish detergent.
Yeah.
Dishes were stacked up in the sink.
Yeah.
What good was I to sit there with her while she's sitting there reminiscing about the person? And then when I leave, they got a stack of dishes. So what I started
Absolutely.
doing, I buy paper towels,
I love
paper
it.
plates, trash bags, as you
Yeah.
said,
Yep.
napkins, toilet tissue, dish detergent. And when
Yes.
I come in, I greet them, sorry for your loss or whatever. I start looking around and scope the room. I start
Yep.
washing dishes. I clean up the kitchen.
Yes.
I don't know where this goes, so I'll stack it right here if that's okay. Because those acts of service are worth more than gold.
I love that. Acts of service. You are so on point with that. And you're right. You just reminded me of the big thing of paper towels and big thing of from Sam's of toilet paper that was brought here, and we put it away because at the time we didn't need it, but trust me, we needed it. You are right. And that, to me, that could be a whole conversation of just how to learn, all of us learn how to not say, what can I do for you? If you need anything, call me. Like that is such a weighted, because I mean, I'm calling you when I've just lost people. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this whole new situation that I'm in. I don't want to call you and ask you anything. But if it's in your heart, or if you're thinking about what you can offer, it could be a ride, like you're saying, all the things that you listed. It can be, I'm coming over on Tuesday and we're going to take you to, because it's going to be people that know you, right? It's going to be people that are close to you.
We're
So
gonna go and get a mani pedi today.
yeah,
Come on,
they're gonna
girl. You need
they're
to
gonna
get out
take
of the
you.
house.
They're gonna get you out the house, or someone's gonna sit with that person you're caring for,
Exactly.
and they're gonna say, you know what, go. And it's not, well, you didn't let me know that you needed. It's two sides of that we have to learn how to, not how to show up in a way that matters to people. And we're talking about stress during the holidays. We need to show up for these families that are, like you said, multi-generation, that are caring for multiple people. We need to show up, even though they might look like they don't need anybody to show up. They do.
Yes. I tell you one thing, if someone has something happen like that during Christmas, I'm coming in with some red and green,
Yeah,
put up decorations,
that's big.
that
Yeah,
would to help to take their mind off
exactly. That's
of
beautiful.
all of that. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna do, eh,
Yeah,
because that's what I love.
that is
So
awesome. We so this has been a full rounded. Listen, we're probably going to need a follow up question meet up with you, Phyllis, because this has been amazing conversation. I want to give you a chance to leave some words of wisdom, encouragement, just whatever's on your heart with those that are listening.
So as we close, one point that I'm trying to drive home is to be present for someone that you know that is a caregiver, whether it be a friend, a brother, sister, cousin, next door neighbor, and put in your heart and your mind acts of service that you can do to assist them. If it's your neighbor and they're caring for their parents and you see the leaves in the yard or the newspapers piling up on the door or the trash cans not being put out at the curb, those are things that they feel as if they leave um, their loved ones alone too long, something could happen.
Hmm.
So be more mindful, or try to be mindful of not asking the question of what can I do. I pray that your heart and your mind would be open and you would see with new eyes what I can do to serve the caregiver that's caring for a loved one, to help lessen the load of what day to day they need to have done to take better care for their loved one.
Absolutely. Thank you, Phyllis. That is so encouraging. Acts of service. I love that. I love it. And it goes a long, long way. And I pray that we will think about that throughout this season. Let's start now. Um, I don't want to say but I want to say it does have me thinking because I have a few people who could use some acts of service right now. So I am going to make my own list, um, you know? And so as we transition today and come to a close, I want to invite anyone that is listening. This is for our caregivers, this is for you. We do everything. A lot of times where our focus is on the people we care for, but today we're going to really focus on you. The trio is going to be having a workshop on November the 29th. It's that Saturday morning after Thanksgiving. It's going to be an hour long in the morning at 9 o'clock. And we're going to talk about you having your trust, your power of attorney, your beneficiaries on your bank account and on your house and on the things that you own in order. Because we have mastered, well, maybe not all of us have mastered, but we definitely worked diligently to make sure the people we are caring for um, and that are a generation in front of us, that they have their paperwork in order, and maybe you haven't taken the time to have yours in order. So we invite you to the workshop. It's for you. You will learn to get your own power of attorney and who that person is going to be that you would grant as executor over your affairs. And so come and join us um, that morning for the conversation. We are not lawyers. We are individuals. So we, at the end of the day, we will still point you to the lawyer that's or the estate planners in your state. But let's have the conversation. Let's get ourselves in order as we take care of ourselves and also preparing for the generation to come behind us. So thank you, Phyllis, for joining us
My
today.
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
It
we
was a
love you, of
pleasure.
course. Yes, I love it. I love this conversation. And we're lifting the level of from 70%. I want that percentage to go all the way up to me. I mean, it's gonna be high sometimes. You're gonna be stressful sometimes. But for the whole holidays, oh Phyllis, if you were in my state, I would want my house red and green too. I'm like, acts of service. But anyway, um,
I love it.
yes, I do too. Have a good night. Well, have a good day. Oh, it might be a good night wherever you're listening from. It might be night where you are in the world.
Yes. It's
So
5 o'clock somewhere.
it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So wherever you are, have a good evening, day, morning, but have a good one. And we will see you next Saturday from the trio.